Terry and Torry Holt are well-known names in the worlds of ACC and professional football. Now they're expanding their legacy and impact through a foundation that helps children of cancer victims and more. Torry joins us to talk about their ongoing work next on Black Issues Forum.
Quality public television is made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC TV.
Hello, welcome to Black Issues Forum. I'm Deborah Holt Noel. Today's guest is well known in the worlds of ACC and professional football. Torry Holt could have rested on his successful football career, but he and his brother chose to build a foundation to help others. He's here to talk with us about it today. I'd like to introduce Torry Holt, native of Gibbonsville, North Carolina, former wide receiver at North Carolina State University, breaking records from 1995 to 1998, and a 1999 Super Bowl champion with the St. Louis Rams. He retired with the 10th most receiving yards in NFL history, and we're so excited to have you with us.
Before this video fully starts, I want you to tell me your thoughts about the Holt brothers in the comments. Now, when it comes to Torry Holt, I know him because I'm a St. Louis resident, so I give a shout out to him.
Talk about something besides football, but something related. Welcome.
Thank you.
Torry, tell me about the foundation. What prompted you and your brother to start it?
Well, we lost our mom to cancer in 1996 to lymphoma. So we always vowed to do something in honor of her name. We started these programs called Kids Can, which originated in St. Louis, Missouri, where I played ball for 10 years. And it provides emotional and educational support to young kids that's, dealing with what their mom or their dad or their guardian is dealing with. From an educational standpoint, we teach them about cancer, about all the research and all the things that they need to know, as well as the parents. We give them an emotional support, where we try to continue to push and encourage the kids to go on. Kids can still achieve, kids can still strive to be whatever it is that they want to be.
I'm pretty sure we all are very familiar with cancer. Let me know in the comments the people that you lost due to their illness.
Though their parent or their guardian is dealing with such a deadly disease as cancer, and we've all been touched by cancer on so many levels, whether you know someone personally or you know a friend or so forth. But that's what prompted us to start Holt Brothers Foundation and to start these Kids Can programs. And we work with Rex, Duke, Alamance hospitals here in the state of North Carolina. So it's good to be involved with the foundation that's so powerful, it's making such an impact, but it's even better to do it back home.
Absolutely. And there's more than Kids Can. You have a camp, an overnight camp for children as well.
Yeah, we partnered up with this group called Camp Kesem. You can go to campkesem.org. It's week-long camps for kids with a parent that's dealing with cancer, and they're facilitated by college students. We partnered up with Duke and UNC here in the area to provide a second week-long of camp. They was getting so filled up with the first week that they had to turn kids away and families away. And Terrence and I, we talked about that. Camp Kesem was on our radar for a long time. We felt like we didn't want to turn anybody away. Everyone, if possible, can use the help. And we provided this grant called the Butterfly Grant. And now there's a second week-longer camp here in North Carolina that our foundation has helped spark. And Terrence and I visited Camp Kesem last year and had a great time with the kids. We participated in this activity called Gator Ball. We had a Q&A, a round table type session where we sat down with the kids and we talked about whatever issues that they wanted to talk about regarding cancer or just life, period. So not only are we supporting these programs through our resources and our contacts, we're also supporting, and we're very hands-on and very interactive with these programs.
Wow. And when you found out that your mother had cancer, how old were you?
I was 10 years old.
10 years
I
old.
was 10 years old at the time, and when we first heard it, I remember us being in the bedroom. I remember laying on the bed, and when we finally got the news, I just remember just crying because I thought the next morning I would wake up and she'd be laying over there dead, because the first thing we associate with cancer, a lot of us, particularly kids, it's death. But that was because we were uneducated. We didn't have a program as a kids can. We didn't have a support group from some of the hospital facilitators or hospice or whatever have you. Though our parents and our aunties and our uncles and our grandmother was very hands-on with us and very active with what was going on, but it was something that was private, it wasn't taken outside of the household. So we had to deal with a lot of built-up emotions and anxieties that, as young kids, if you don't have any outlets, you don't know what's going to happen. Well, that's where Kids Can comes into play, where these kids now have an outlet where they can go and be amongst other kids. Parents can go and be amongst other parents dealing with the same thing that they have.
That's so important, and that you had that experience, so you know firsthand what kinds of support would have been helpful to you at that time.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we try to make sure that we relay that message to the kids, and we also encourage the kids to help one another. And as we help kids from ages 6 to 17, and as they grow older and they graduate out of the program, we encourage the kids to come back to the program to be a facilitator, to help, to be a mentor to the younger ones that's coming up as well. So it's that old saying, each one, teach one.
And talk a little bit more about that leadership training opportunity that's at the camp for the older children and the college students.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really, I think it's phenomenal what these college kids are doing, giving up of themselves, giving up their time to help out young families, help out young kids, to try to give them an edge or try to give them support to go on. It can be. I'm sure it can be stressful at times. It can be tough with dealing with some of the emotions that some of these kids come into this camp with. But our campers, they hold steadfast. They believe in the program, Camp Kesem,
And they have fun.
and they have fun. And that's one of the most important things, is because every single day you hear cancer this, cancer that, radiation this, chemo that. Well, when you go to this camp, you get a break from that, and you're around kids where you can talk about school, you can talk about boys, you can talk about girls, you can talk about athletics, you can just have fun and be in a whole nother world, to take your mind off of the daily grind of your parent dealing with cancer. And fun is a huge part of it, and we stress to the kids to have as much fun, learn as much as you possibly can, encourage one another, but have a tremendous amount of fun.
And it lasts for a week?
And it lasts for a week. It lasts for a
Wonderful.
week, and our goal, hopefully, as they're doing weeks, and if it goes well, maybe it'll go into 2 weeks, maybe it'll go into 3 weeks, who knows? But right now, it's a week-long camp, and it's a great getaway for the kids and a great getaway for the parents.
I looked up the website to their organization. If you are in need of information or more, I will make sure the link is in the description box below.
Now, what does it cost to send a child, and how much of that cost is the responsibility of the child?
It's actually a free camp, and the college students raise the funds to facilitate these camps, along with the donation that Terrence and I have made here in the North Carolina and the Duke chapter. And our goal is to continue with our fundraisers to potentially go to other universities across the country, because this is a national deal. Camp Kesem is. Our goal is to go across the country and hopefully provide second week-long camps for some other universities.
And where geographically is it located here in North Carolina, and when's the next one?
The next one is it's coming up. I think it's coming up August of 2014, if my memory serves me correct, and it's in Kawiki, North Carolina. Sorry for the pronunciation, but that's where the camp is held, and again, it'll be August of 2014. And you can go into campkesem.org to find out more information.
Fantastic.
Now, even though we're not hearing as much as we going to hear about this organization, tell me your thoughts about it so far in the comments.
I want to ask you about, I know that your camp is out there for all children, but when it comes to reaching out to the African American community, we know that there are great health disparities within the Black community with regard to not only health, but education and so forth. And you're a professional athlete, recognized. Do you think your presence has a special influence when you have that interaction within predominantly black communities?
Yeah, I would like to think so. I mean, that's something that Terrence and I, we take pride in, is representing the black community as much as we possibly can and trying to be as positive as role models as we possibly can. So when we have a platform in which we try to encourage as many of our brothers and sisters to go out and support and help and uplift our community, whether it's through canned goods, whether it's through holding your own fundraiser, or whether it's coming out and supporting what we have at Hope Brothers Foundation. So yeah, I think our continued work and our continued presence will continue to uplift more of our black people to go out and to talk and to be more open about cancer. And more importantly, we try to encourage and we want to encourage more black families to take part in our Kids Can program, whether it's at Rex, Duke, and at Alamance.
Are you experiencing low participation?
Not as many African American families as we would like.
Is it an information kind of thing?
No, well, the information is there because there's so many cancer families, black, white, Chinese, or whatever, that comes through the cancer wards that's dealing with cancer. So the information is there. It's just a matter of those families or those ethnic groups taking advantage of the opportunity, and we're just not getting a really strong participation from the African American community to be involved in our Kids Can program as we would like to see. So we have constant dialogue all the time about this, Terrence and I and our executive directors, to try to change that, and we're going to continue that effort in trying to get more of our people into the programs.
Yes, because this is something to benefit.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. Again, I'm African American. I was young when my mom was diagnosed. We didn't have a program like this. A lot of the issues we had to deal with were internal. Luckily, we had an outlet, sports and other activities. There are some families out there, kids don't have an outlet. Well, Kids Can provides your family an opportunity for an outlet and to get educated and to get strong emotionally.
Now, he just mentioned sports as an outlet. Let me know in the comments other different types of outlets that people can use other than sports.
Well, speaking of outlets, athletes, sports itself is an outlet for many people, and particularly for many African American youth. It is the way out. It is the way up.
Absolutely.
What is your message, particularly as you get the opportunity to speak to African American young men about the opportunities that are available and how to balance that with other opportunities like education?
Well, education is huge. I wasn't strong education-wise. I shouldn't say I wasn't strong, but I didn't put forth the effort with my education as I did with athletics. And I totally understand now that I'm older the value of education. But if you want to play ball and you want to be a musician, I do that.
But getting into the head of that child, I mean, you yourself, you weren't there. You wanted to put your energy into the field. And I don't know, I feel like sometimes it's the playing field is a place where your performance will be seen.
Yeah.
Whereas in the classroom, someone else is making a judgment on your performance.
That's correct. But you have a huge input in who's ever evaluating what you're doing in the classroom by putting the effort in. The same amount of effort that you put out on the football field or on the basketball court is the same effort that's going to take in order to be strong in the classroom. I heard that a lot when I was coming up, but I didn't take it for serious. I always said, well, I'm athletic enough, I'll just make it because I'm a good athlete. Well, I almost missed out on an opportunity because I was slack in education. So I would say to the young people, if you want to play sports, if you want to do music or whatever it is, be an engineer, do that. Do it to the strongest ability, but you're going to need your education at the end of the day when the sports and all those talents erode. It's going to come back to having some education, being able to stand on your own, being able to fend for yourself, being able to think for yourself. I think having balance, and Terrence and I, we talk about this all the time as well, and we put a great deal of emphasis on it every day as having some form of balance, being businessmen, being family men, doing things outside of just playing sports. We have the minds, we have the capability, we have the capacity, we have the knowledge to be able to do those things. We just try to make sure that we are as balanced as we possibly can every single day.
It's a mindset and an attitude that you take with you. And you actually won an award for your attitude in college.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Positive attitude reward.
yeah. Well, I mean, I try to be as positive as I possibly can every single day. It's tough, you know. I have my days just as anyone else, but for the most part, I'm trying to get something out of this life while I'm here. I'm trying to be impactful not only to my family and to my friends, but into others, and encourage others to be whatever it is that they want to be and do it at the highest level. And bring someone, if you can, bring someone along with you and encourage. So being positive every single day, trying to stay away from the negativity as much as possible, staying on the side of right. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't get glamorized a lot of times, but it's the right thing to do.
There's a lot of glamour around sports. How did you and your brother stay grounded throughout?
Wow, I would say probably, I mean, my humble beginnings of pulling tobacco. You know, I was born and raised in Gibsonville, North Carolina, and one of the ways that we had to make a living in the summer was to go out and pull tobacco. So if anyone out there that pulled tobacco knows exactly what I'm talking about. It'll humble you pretty quick. And when I was out in the fields, I always used to say to myself, I'm never coming back to these fields when I get older. This is not where I want to be. Though I
Tell me something. I'm pretty sure, for the most part, we've all said something. We're never going to do this, or we're never going to do that, especially after we experienced it. Let me know in the comments two things. One, did you return back to whatever you said you was never going to do? And two, what was it that you said you was never going to do?
appreciated it at the time, and there's no knock on on tobacco and people raising and picking tobacco, but that was not a place where I wanted to be. I always thought it was something out there bigger, but that in itself humbled me tremendously. My mom was a hard worker, very humble, powerful woman, tough, physical woman. My dad was a hard worker, military, ex-Vietnam vet. So we had enough people within our household to give us a serving of humble pie if we needed it.
Any memorable, humble experiences in your pro career?
Oh man, none right off. I guess probably as I got older and some of my skills started to diminish, and some of these young guys started chasing me. I think that was, I think that was a humbling process for me. Telling yourself that you can do this that you used to do when you were younger, but knowing that your body was not putting out what you envisioned. So I think that was probably one of the very humbling experience for me.
And your
in the latter
body's
part of
not
my
gonna,
career.
your body's not gonna be the same for all of that time. So the whole sport of football is very demanding.
Yeah.
Tell me about a situation that humbled you.
And some would say dangerous. What's your advice to mothers out there, parents out there, whose kids are dying to play football, but you know about the dangers out there?
Let them play. I really believe that. I think our game is there's an emphasis on teaching the game of football the correct way. And there are a lot of coaches. USA Football has now come on board, and they're teaching coaches how to teach football the correct way to try to minimize some of these injuries. Now, it's a violent sport. Now, football is a physical, violent sport. If you play long enough, something is bound to happen. But I would encourage parents to let your kids play. My son played football for the first time this year. He's 12 years old. He really enjoyed it. He's looking forward to going back and playing next year. There's so many positive things that can come from playing football: the camaraderie, the gamesmanship, the studying, the leadership, leaning on one another to get something accomplished, to accomplish your goal. All those things embody the game of football. And I know the parents, you see the concussions and you see some of the head trauma in the latter part of guys' career. But now the NFL, as well as college and high school, they're doing a better job of monitoring the athletes when they take a strike to the head. So the game is safer. The helmets are safer. The way they're teaching it is a lot better. Teaching the game of football is a lot better. So I would encourage you to let your little sons or your sons play the game.
And daughters.
And daughters, absolutely. And I've ran across several girls that play football and can play
So
football.
have I. I've got a good
Yeah,
friend who's
yeah.
on a team.
Yeah, so yeah, if you got daughters that want to play and they have the heart for it and the courage to play, let them play it.
Because there are so many skills, like you said, that are transferable to life. Are there any? What did you learn in your career as a football professional that have helped you in your business transition with the foundation in particular?
Result.
Let me know in the comments, would you be open to the opportunity of your daughter playing football, whether it's college, for fun, or professionally?
Off, um, leadership, um, depending on the team, communication. Communication is huge. The ability to communicate what it is that you want, the ability to communicate to people what you expect of them. That's football. You know, your coach, your individual coach will tell you exactly what it is they expect, and it's your job, it's your responsibility to go out there and to get it done. So all those things I learned playing in the National Football League, and all those things Terrence and I were able to learn, we brought that into our business practices, and so far so good. But more importantly, that communication is strong, very strong, and then another thing that playing in the National Football League or playing sports period, the relationships that you build with people is something that's really is really gratifying for us.
Well, we all learned that from the game, that sitcom that's on television.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know how real that
yeah,
is.
yeah, yes. Some of that's a little fabricated. Some of that's a little bit too much. But there's a few similarities.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, talk a little bit about the other companies that are under your foundation, because it's not just fundraising. You actually have a construction company as well.
Yeah, we have a construction company, Holt Brothers Construction.
How did you get into construction?
Wow, Terrence and I, we've had interest in real estate for a while. Terrence, I would say, probably more so than me. And when it was the time was counting down for us to transition from the game, we went around several different places and talked to several different people and advisors, trying to figure out what our niche was. What do we want to do once we left the game of football? And we landed in construction. There's a huge space for construction. Obviously, we're a minority contractor. We do commercial contracting. We have over 100 years of experience at our company. Guys have done some fantastic work right here in the state of North Carolina. We're continuing to do great work here in North Carolina. But if you'd asked me 10 years ago, would I be in construction, I would have told you, yeah, right. But here we are. It's been a tremendous learning curve for Terrence and I, as well as our company. But we feel like we're in a great space. We have some very exciting existing jobs that we're doing right now that we're involved in, and we think that our company will continue to grow, and we'll continue building the infrastructure right here in the state of North Carolina. And like I mentioned earlier about the foundation, it's one thing to have a foundation, but to be home serving in our community with our foundation is great, and to be back home and and to be in construction and helping build the infrastructure here in our state is great too. So we're happy to be back, but that's one of the entities that we have under the Holt Brothers Inc. Holt Brothers Construction, Holt Brothers Foundation, Holt Brothers Football, where we facilitate football camps throughout the course of the summer.
Are those in North Carolina?
Those are here in North Carolina. We have one coming up June 28, 2014 at NC State practice facilities. And then we have Holt Brothers Development that's also underneath our umbrella. So a plethora of things going on. But so far we're doing a pretty decent job, a really good job of balancing everything that we have going on.
And the fundraising events that you have also contribute to the building of the fund.
Yeah, all of our foundation, all of our fundraising efforts all the dollars go directly back to Holt Brothers Foundation, and we put those dollars right back into our programs, which is Kids Can and now Camp Kesem. It all embodies our mission of impacting young kids with a parent that's dealing with cancer. So you can go into HoltBrothersFoundation.com if you want to make a donation. And again, 100% of those dollars will go directly into our programs, Kids Can and Camp Kesem, impacting and helping young kids with a parent that's dealing with the deadly disease of cancer.
Well, that's fantastic. And I know that you have probably some even greater visions for the future. I understand you're partly interested in corporate training as well.
Yeah. I mean, our goal is to continue growing as young professionals, continue growing our business. One of our main goals is to try to grow our construction firm, into one of the top 5, top 3 construction firms here in the state of North Carolina as a minority-owned company. That makes us really proud, and that's our goal going forward.
And probably the fact that, did you say your dad was a veteran?
Yeah, my dad was a veteran. He served in Vietnam.
You had an opportunity to go to, is it Djibouti?
Yeah, my brother had a chance. Terrence went over to Djibouti.
Okay.
He went over to Djibouti and served some and was over there with the troops and spent a lot of time with the troops. And he's actually going to Japan at the end of the month to spend some more time with the troops in Japan. So he's on a roll right now. He's serving. He's doing exactly what he's been called upon to do. And that's his next trip is over to Japan. So I'm pretty sure he's looking forward to it.
And it's so important to give back. And now we're going to lay to rest a question that comes to me frequently. Now, are we related? Deborah Holt Noel, Torry Holt, we're not related.
We are for now.
I'd love to be. You're my brother.
Right on, exactly. You're my sister, no question.
Fantastic. And tell our viewers once again, if they want to get more information about the Holt Brothers Foundation, where they can get that information.
You can log on to holtbrothersfoundation.com to learn about our foundation and the impact that we're making in the community. And also, if you want to make a donation, all that information, it's there again at holtbrothersfoundation.com.
Torry, it has been a pleasure. I wish you and your brother the very best with your foundation and other endeavors.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming out.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
For more information or to watch Black Issues Forum episodes online, you'll find us at video.
Well, I have two things to say. First off, tell me your thoughts about this video in the comments. I'm very hopeful at what you have to say. And secondly, if you want to help them grow what they're trying to do within the camp, then hey, reach out to the construction company, maybe hire them, because you heard what he said. The proceeds that's made from the construction company will go straight to the foundation. That way, it's a win-win. You get what you want, they get what they want, and the kids get what they want. But as always, and if you happen to contact them, please inform them of this YouTube channel. I would love to get their input as well. But as always, don't forget to like, share, watch more videos, and subscribe to the channel.